Okay, thank you for checking out our demo of DomusIQ by Vates Domus AI. We're going to go ahead and jump right into it. After you get logged into the product, the first thing you'll be presented with is MLS GPT, and we're going to go through all of these features that we have. So to find a property or to get started, you can start with a zip code search, and we're going to use Morehead City, 28557. And then from there, we'll wait for that to come back, and you'll see you'll get a list of closed, pending, and active properties, recently closed. So what we can do from here, you'll see there's a checkbox. We're going to select a few of these, and you'll notice this blue button pops up that says Chat with Property. So you can scroll to the right and get some details on the property. That one's land, so we're actually going to skip that one. That one's not as much fun to chat with. So we're going to choose some of these others that are down here. And I'm just going to do a random selection of active properties. That one's closed, we'll ignore that one. That one's closed, we'll ignore that one. That one's closed, we'll ignore that one. Go down and get some more active properties that we can actually chat with. Active under contract, pending. You can chat with those if you want to get some more information about them. And you can select up to 10 properties to communicate with. And that one's the same one, so we're going to just select it once instead of twice. That one's active, 10, one more property. All right, so now we've got 10 properties, so now we can actually select chat with 10 properties, and this is going to give you the ability to do an AI chat with these properties backed by the MLS. So read the warning when you get time. AI does make mistakes, so make sure you are aware of that, and make sure when you get a response, you double check it before sending it to a buyer or a seller. So we're going to ask a question. I have a buyer that is interested in the Crystal Coast lifestyle and is looking for sound views. Which of these properties would be best? So AI is going to look at the MLS record that we provided it and come back with some answers for us. Of the 10 that we chose, which ones might meet that criteria? Now, a couple of ways it can do that. In the MLS record, if water view is chosen, it will actually pull that out. Also, if it's in the description, it will use that information as well. And you'll see that of the 10 that I selected, it came back with 4 properties. So that looks good. So let's ask it another question. My buyer is new to the Crystal Coast. Can you highlight annual events that occur in the county and nearby towns that are worth a visit? So this might be interesting that we can put into an email so they understand, what some of the county events and what the counties have to offer. So spring, Emerald Isle, St. Patty's Day, Beaufort Wine and Food Weekend, Wooden Boat Show, summer and fall, and different events throughout the county. So this looks good. So now what we're going to ask it to do is, can you take this information, including the properties, and write an email to a buyer highlighting all of this? So now it's going to take the 4 properties that had waterfront or sound views, and it's going to take the information about the county and put that into an email for a buyer. And you'll see that it actually does come up with the basic information about all 4 properties, and you can go in and add your own MLS link here. I do have the ability to do that, but most realtors actually want to use their own MLS link, so you would have to go in and add that. But now what we can do is copy this, and after that's copied, you can paste that into an email, put in your information, and send this off to a buyer or anyone else that might be interested in these properties. So, and you can also do some more creative stuff, like take these properties and put them in a table for me. So if you want to get a little bit more creative, you can actually have it do that, and it'll put them in a table format that you can actually copy in if you were keeping notes, or if you want to take the table and send that to someone as well. So, and you'll see that we actually get, the details of the table, and it'll pivot this. Sometimes it'll put the features on the left, sometimes it'll put them on as column headings, but you can get, kind of some detailed information about this as well. Association fee, days on market, and interesting information like that. Another stretch that you could actually do is go in and ask it about mortgage information. So you could go in and say, I have a buyer that wants to put 20% down, 5.75% interest rate for a 30-year note. Can you add columns to this table indicating what the down payment and the mortgage rate would be, and it will do the calculation for you. All right, so we're going to do another one now. We're going to do map search, and we're going to do Atlantic Beach. 28512. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit, and we're going to look at this little area right here near the Intercoastal Waterway. See if we can't get around the Intercoastal right there. So we'll submit that, just draw a polygon and submit it, and it'll come back with the properties for you. And we're going to do something a little different this time. So we're going to pick one of these properties. We'll pick this one, not to pick on any one property, but we're going to pick on one property. So we can actually come in and ask it and say, I'm having trouble getting showings for this property. Can you provide some advice or recommendations? And it's January, so do you have any ideas for a seasonal showing? We'll let that think about that for a second and see what it comes back with. So this might be good if you're having trouble getting showings, to get some out-of-the-box thinking. It's kind of like asking a friend. It's like, hey, I want to do something special. What do you think I should do for a showing if you're having trouble getting showings, or if you want to come up with an original idea for a showing? So it's going to come up with 5 different ideas for you, or 5 different sections of ideas. So enhanced vision and address, immersive 3D renderings, tell the builder design story. So it'll give you lots of ideas. Dream of a summer campaign. So you can go through this and read it. And this, some of these, it's not like you have to do all of them, but it kind of gives you the ability to get some ideas for different ideas for getting the more market out there for your property. The last one we have is actually the MLS search chat. So this one, what we're going to do is, and this is a free-form text where you can search for properties. So what you would do in this case is come in here and say, show me properties in Atlantic Beach that are between 3 and 5 bedrooms, at least 2,250 square feet, and less than $1 million. And we'll see what that comes back with. And once again, we get back 5 properties, because that's kind of finding that many bedrooms in Atlantic Beach is a little bit difficult for that square footage, but there are some out there. And then you can do the same thing here. Click on these and chat with the property. The other thing you could do from all 3 of these is click on this and get the property card. So you have the ability to get the property card and take a closer look at one of these properties from inside this. And you can do that under map search and under zip code search too. All you have to do is click on the listing ID and the MLS ID. So if you see these hyperlinked anywhere in the product, you can click on it and get more information. Then the other thing we can do, which you can do throughout the product also, is generate a CMA. And what that's going to give you is basically a comparative market analysis where you choose the comparables, and it's going to give you all the details about the property, everything you're used to. It's going to give you the tax information from public record, and double check this with your local tax office, because sometimes it can be outdated, so be careful about that. And we also get mortgage information, and this is average for the state of North Carolina. These aren't from a specific bank. These are just state averages. So in whichever state you're in, when we expand to other states, it'll pull the mortgage rates for that state. You also get the map, where you can take a look and zoom in and zoom out. The star is the subject property, and these are the comparables that were chosen. So these are all the comparables that were chosen for the property. But what we do is you still have to come in here and choose the comparables you want. I just give you some criteria to narrow down what the comparables could be. In this case, we searched up to a 3-mile radius with a latitude and longitude of where the subject property is, with a living area that's 20% smaller and 20% larger, with the same property type and same property subtype. And like I said, you can click on these properties and it'll pull up the property card, so you can get an idea if this is one that you're actually interested in adding as a comparable. So what we can do from here is go ahead and select a few of these that are active on the market. And I'm just going to choose some at random. I want to choose the first ones, and you can see how far away they are in miles and in blocks, and the address and the city they're all in. And you'll see that these kind of range from Atlantic Beach to Pinedale Shores, because the cities run into each other pretty quickly. And if you scroll farther down, you'll also see nearby sold properties that are recently sold. So what we can do now is generate an AI CMA, and this is where the magic happens for the CMA. Okay, so our CMA is back, and you can see that we actually get some good information here: property overview and market position, price analysis. So it'll create a little table with the comparables that you've chosen. If you do choose a comparable that's an outlier, it will actually throw it out. For instance, it did find 2 outliers that were 731 per square foot in this one, and it'll tell you why it chose it as an outlier. So be mindful of that every comparable you choose, if you choose one that's outside the range, like if you choose a $300,000 property as your subject property and then a $3 million as a comparable, it's going to throw that out. Property characteristics and comparison, so it'll compare each of the comparables you've chosen to the subject property. Market trends and timing, location analysis, competitive advantages and disadvantages. Recommendations, it'll actually give you a price recommendation and a range. Judge this harshly just because AI does hallucinate. So only a realtor can create a CMA, so it's your best judgment that will matter when you're doing this. And then obviously risk factors is the last section that we have, where it can get into, possibly issues with the property or with the timing of when we're on the market. So from there, what we can actually do is take this and do a print, and it creates a nice report that you can actually share or use for yourself, and it'll include all the information that you saw before, the map, the scatter plot with a regression line, the CMA analysis, as well as the comparables and the property card for each of the comparables. And you can save that as a PDF or print it out. Okay, so the other ways that we can actually get to there is through a chat. So we can do, and this is kind of redundant. We have this on the other one, but this will give you another way where if you just wanted to chat with the MLS, you can't just do a search using the chat. And same thing here, you can click on this and get a property card and generate a CMA, or you can go down here and view the full listing on our broker of record. Search by map is kind of the same way. It's a bit redundant. We're probably going to be removing this in the future, but we have it out there by now where you can actually choose properties via polygon and go that way. And this is going to be the same as what's in the MLS GPT. And you can pull up the property cards if you're just doing research or want to play around. CMA from scratch, this is a good one just because there are some properties that have never been in the MLS, or the MLS data is so old it's not useful. So we've given you the ability to create a CMA from scratch where you fill out all the information and then you can actually generate a CMA for there. Make sure when you do that you're very detailed in the public remarks. So how I'm going to do this, I'm going to cheat just a little bit and show you another way that you can preload a CMA form is by a tax record search. So we're going to search for my property. And we're going to pull up the tax record for that. And then from there, what you can actually do is go in here and say create from this tax record. So what it'll do is preload the form for you with all the information that it has. Judge it harshly. It's going to be missing some information, obviously, but we can actually set the status to new because I want to show you the CMA form. GPS coordinates should be correct, but you can also grab the GPS coordinates from the address and the Google will grab that for you. And we're going to call this a single family, even though it's not, so we can get some good comparables. And then, also enter the, let's see, the HOA. Where's the HOA at? There it is. So my HOA is $5,000 a year. So we're going to put that in there. And now continue to CMA form. And this will actually, and there is a way, if we go back and change this, if we go back here and choose photo under public remarks, you can actually get the photo loaded from your machine. And what it'll do is pull the information from your dashboard on who you are, age and ID, office phone number, so it'll pre-populate that. There is a listing ID. This is just for internal use only. It would never end up in the MLS that way. The other thing we have I want to point out is on the monthly. So the association fee on this mortgage table will be included. Now, here's the thing. Depending on where the realtors are, they have different habits. Sometimes they'll put the association fee as yearly. Sometimes they'll put the association fee as monthly. There's no way in the MLS to know what that is. So in my case, it's yearly, so it's going to remove that. So if I leave it at monthly, it shows that my 10-year conventional loan will be $8,500 a month. If I click it to yearly, it just removes it because the assumption is the owner will pay for it out of pocket at the end of the year. So just be mindful of that. And then you've got the map you can zoom in and zoom out on and change to a satellite view if you prefer, if you want to dig in just a little bit deeper. And the CMA is just like the form we saw before. Other thing you can do is on the scatter plot, you can actually kind of move around here and it'll show you the price of a property that's nearby. This one's on Atlantic Beach, but if I click on that property, it'll actually pull up the property card. So if you see some properties that look like they're way out of range, you can pull up the property card to see what they are. Same thing with the sold properties. So if you click on those, you'll be able to pull up the property card as well. So hope you enjoyed this. This is kind of a fast demo of all the major features. We also have the FAQ assistant here, so you can ask it a question, and it's basically our help. So you can ask it a question, and it's the FAQ assistant's been trained on everything in the product. So if you have a question, don't feel like you should go here. It's fine. Your other option is, if you want to, you can actually go to the frequently asked questions. And if you don't see an answer to something, you can actually just email us at info@vatesdomus.com, and we'll get back to you. Well, thank you for watching. Hope you have a good day.